Good Tuesday evening. Welcome to BCP Live. I hope that your week is going well. We're now in the month of March. It is Super Tuesday, but that's all I'm going to mention about that because it's just a Super Tuesday. And I'll tell you why. Because I have a friend on the program tonight, longtime broadcast partner slash friend slash all around good guy. And we're going to visit tonight here on BCP Live. So let's just get right into it. Ed Meacham is on BCP Live with me tonight. We've had the opportunity. I got to meet him calling Southeastern football games, and I have my GAC on right now, so we'll talk about the GAC here in just a moment. We may even talk Southeastern here in just a moment. This was for you, Dr. Newsom. But calling Southeastern football games, and, I thought, Ed, that I could bring a thing or two to the table, but my goodness, when I met you and your football background from playing Division I college football in the NFL as well. And you know what? Thank you very much for just coming on the show with me tonight.
Well, first of all, I've been begging for this moment. How much do I have to beg and plead just to spend just countless minutes with my buddy Joey? And yes, we were great partners in the broadcasting, and I learned a lot from you. Well, it was an absolute pleasure to be teamed up with you during those broadcasts.
Well, I thank you. That means a lot because I appreciate it. I've enjoyed the time and the trips, and we could talk for an hour and a half on just the trips alone. I want to talk about what you do, and I want to talk about what you do, not only your business, but what you do for the community. But really quickly, since we're on football, and I know it's basketball season, definitely right now. It's crossover season because there's so much softball and baseball going on too. But I know. You had a vested interest in that big football game that was played there at the first part of
really did. I can always say this on your show that I've lived in the state of Texas for nearly 40 years, so I'm a Texan, sortish. I'm a Giants fan. Nobody will want to turn the button off, by the way, because you'll love what I've got to say. I went to college in Massachusetts, and I played with two guys, teammates. They're still great friends to this day, who are on Andy Reid's staff. One name is become a household name. They call him Spags. So Steve Spagnuolo, he was the split end in our offense way back in the leather helmet days. 3 receivers set. I was a sophomore kid making a start, and he's a senior. And then he just goes on to do all these miraculous things. He pioneered that defense that beat the Patriots, that shut down that perfect season. So you remember that. And then Dave Towe, guys, Andy Reid's assistant head coach. See, you may not know Dave is a household name, but he made Devin Hester a household name. He's the special teams guru in the NFL. That's Dave Towe, one of my dearest friends.
So a couple of those that are part of the Kansas City coaching staff, not only that but you can call them friends too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, in the beginning of the season, I always give Dave Towe a call, and I'll send him a text and say, okay, are you ready to defend that title? Come on, man. He says, well, Travis Kelce, he's hurt, and Chris Jones is holding out for that contract. We got the Lions tonight. I don't know about that. And during the course of the season, I'd say, hey, listen, of course, when the Swifties came on board, I said, oh, it's going to ruin our tight ends. That's not a good thing. But she had such a profound impact. And he even said that she helped change that season.
Really? Well, I will say, and Jody, of course, Mrs. Patriot, and I have been Chiefs fans long before the Swifties came on board. So that's fine. Of course, Mrs. Patriot is from around the Kansas City area too, just in case you were wondering. So it's a true thing. And we have some Chiefs paraphernalia in our house. But I wanted you to mention that because that's pretty cool. And it's something that, you see people on TV, and sometimes they become bigger than life, but you've lived life with them.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I mean, who could have ever thought that? Dave Towe and I were the only sophomores starting on that little school up in the Northeast. And at that time, they were a powerhouse in the eastern part of the world. And it was rare then to have underclassmen take those starting jobs. And we were on a team full of just latent filled with great senior players. And we worked hard. Dave Tobe, he didn't graduate from Springfield. After our junior year, he transferred out to UTEP, became a tremendous player at UTEP, played with the Rams of the NFL. He was on the UTEP coaching staff, the Missouri coaching staff, and then he found his way in Philadelphia with Andy Reid. And so that really started the whole thing with Spags being with Andy Reid all those years. And then, of course, there was a division when Andy got fired from the Chiefs. People had to go find jobs, and Spags got a great job with the Giants. Dave Tobe landed in Chicago with Lovie Smith and that great team, that Super Bowl team. And then Andy, again, just pulled the guys back in together, and here they are. Again, according to my buddy Dave Tobe, he says, Meach, number 3's coming.
Okay.
So there you go. I'm only a Chiefs fan in the playoffs because we know what the New York Giants do. It ends ugly for us Giants fans.
Well, and of course, I say I'm a Chiefs fan. I mean, the Seahawks are a rung higher for me, and it's been a few years since I've had a chance to cheer for them. So it's nice to fall back on the Chiefs and go from there. And as you mentioned, being from the state of Texas, of course, you're on the other side of that river there. Years and years, I cheered for the team with the star on their helmet. So that's but yeah. We won't talk about that. We don't want to bring the program down right now. We want to
right.
Well, okay. Last sports question for the moment. Then, Southeastern, the team. You've had a chance to, see the Savage Storm up close and personal. Travel with the team, broadcast with the team as well. This is a program that's done well in recent years. Of course, the second opportunity for Coach Atterbury to come back, and Coach Fenwick had a good run as well.
Yeah, Tyler had a great run. In the his first year, we knew there was going to be a lot of battles in there to get that team buying into his system. Of course, the rest was history, going into the playoffs and doing what he did, knowing it would probably be a short stay for him. But bringing back Bo, he exudes Southeastern in football and sports. I've always admired Bo. I was a big fan of Bo, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again soon.
Well, it's fun, and of course he's now remaking his mark with the program. I do want to mention Southeastern basketball right now, and then again at the end of the program, Southeastern's men's basketball team grabbed a share of the conference conference regular season championship. They'll be the number 1 seed in the tournament. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Here now with Ed Meacham. And of course, we had to talk sports first, Ed. That's part of it. And
it's our DNA.
That is true. And I visit with Ed on a regular basis, and we do wind up talking sports, usually first, and then get into business a little bit later on. So let's talk about your business too. I mentioned the other side of the river, but you don't just do, your side of the river and leave the north side alone, because you have an opportunity to help people. You work with State Farm Insurance, and that is, obviously a known commodity. It's a known business, but I just wanted to, I want to bring you on and talk about it a little bit, because honestly, it's easier for me to talk with you about sports because I know sports. I don't know that much about insurance, and I would ask you first: is there a trick to knowing insurance, and how do you help people that maybe like me that don't know that much?
Well, you got to be a good neighbor. Just ask Arnold.
Ask Arnold.
Insurance, guys. I have to tell you, I had a long, sustaining career after my playing days, and for 28 years, I ran a company and decided one day that it was just time to transition, make a change in our lives. Our daughter had just gotten out of school, college, and we were trying to figure out what we were going to do next. And insurance kept calling, and I never returned its call, and didn't think that it would be really a good match for me because I didn't even know how to spell premium, Joey. That's just sad. Kidding aside.
That's Syracuse education, just letting you know.
That's the part of the problem. So when I got into business, there was just so much about the industry that is so unknown, and it is to people who don't live what we have to do on a day-to-day basis. But just the importance of what insurance does for people, and some of the myths that are out there, some of the misconceptions about insurance, and really, I have seen what the impact is with what it does for folks, not just paying a premium. Nobody likes doing that on a monthly basis, but I have seen what it has done, good and bad, how it has devastated families, and also how it's really helped folks get through some of those barriers.
And when we visit, and if you're watching along, by the way, let us know from where you're watching tonight. Of course, it's a Tuesday night, and even if it's not the live chat, let us know in the comment section too. I would appreciate that. But I have watched you broadcast football games, I've watched you get to just watch games too, and listen to you, not just about the game, but your family, your faith, things along those lines that you're passionate about. What does it take, from the insurance standpoint? And are you passionate about that? And what goes into it?
You better believe it. And everything that I've done in sports certainly set that tone for discipline and things that I carry into my life, my adult life, now in my early 60s. I take that same exact drive that I had when I was a younger kid, as a player, certainly as a business owner previously. And I also use those same tools with my own team. And see, it can't be an agency without a group of people that pull the rope in the same direction. And that's one of the biggest things about our team, because we're a small family. We're confined to an office space of 5 or 6 different offices within our structure. And the importance of what we do together as a group, knowing that at the end of the day, what did we do? Did we do a good job today? Did we do a better job? And what will we do tomorrow to be better for our customers? It's about the customers. And I don't say that to be kind of a clichéist thing, but in my business, it truly is about customers and in the service we present to them. It's paramount to what we do in our industry.
I understand. And you know what? I like that, because I think that goes a long way I think that's just you. I think that exemplifies who you are as a person, but I appreciate it in you articulating it like that, because it does make a difference. I mentioned insurance, that I don't know that much about it. And I think it's interesting, because no matter what it is you do, there's always going to be maybe a mindset, or what someone thinks this is how this business works, or this is how this business works. Are there ideas like that? Are there myths about insurance?
Yeah, there really are. I think that the people's probably their mind thought going into insurance is that we all have to have it. Okay. Part of it's true. In the auto side, you do have to have insurance. It's mandated by every state in this country. You've got to have auto insurance. What they don't realize is that you don't have to have homeowners insurance if you don't want to. However, it's one of our biggest investments. So why would we not take care of something? I'm in the risk business. It's my job to help inform our customers why you purchase insurance, what it does for you. And I'm your risk manager. I have to help you mitigate those risks. We don't buy auto insurance thinking that, maybe tomorrow I'll get in a car accident. That's not the reason why, and we don't want it for that purpose. We buy it for the purpose of the things that we're not going to see. Maybe we don't see that risk. And I really believe that our staff does a tremendous job in help informing our customers of those very things.
You also mentioned too, and I think it's interesting that you did, because you referred to an Arnold Schwarzenegger commercial, of course, that came out during the Super Bowl, like a good neighbor. I can't even say it like he does, but I try would mess it up. I'll tell you this. I saw something the other day. I was teaching the sports media class, which I'm thoroughly enjoying doing.
You got to be. I wish I was a student again. I'd take your class. I'd fail your class just to take it again.
Well, I was sharing with the class something that you and I would recognize in a heartbeat, and it was the intro to ABC's Wide World of Sports. And I mean, we watched the whole thing. It was someone had recorded off, some VHS tape or something that they'd pulled out. And so, you see the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Of course, that guy crashing, skiing down the hill. And at the end of it, this is 1974, I think we're watching this. And at the end of it, the first thing comes up, ABC's Wide World of Sports is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I thought, my goodness, that's a slogan that's been around for that long. I didn't realize it. I was alive back then, but I didn't realize it. And I thought, wow, I mean, this is a name brand.
Yeah, most people don't realize that in 1922 is when the first State Farm agency opened. It started with a guy with Mr. Mahur that was he just started with the community that people had farms. And it evolved from the number one and still the number one auto insurance carrier in North America to the number one homeowners. They were up until a couple years ago, they were the number one life insurance company for individual life insurance policies in this country. And there's just so many things that this company does. When I finally was awarded my agency, I did not realize the magnitude of State Farm. It's so powerful. The brand is incredible. And they do set themselves apart. Insurance is insurance is insurance. Okay, gotcha. But really, what sets them apart is the power that they have. Their customer service within their own infrastructure is dynamic. 19,000 plus State Farm agents in this country. That's powerful.
Yeah. Well, and very much so. And it seems that way. And again, it's a name. It's a brand name, and you recognize it. And I think, and now Ed, let me ask this really quickly. Not every name that you recognize is going to be something that you just go be a part of. But in this case, it seems to be a name that when you think about it, you think about quality.
Yeah, you do. There are so many different options out there in today. We live in a country where everything is at the push of a button with cell phones, with technology, and State Farm has embraced that as well. We have to, because that's just the way nature is. You and I came from an age where business to business really meant belly button to belly button, and you spoke across the table and you hugged your friends that became your customers, and then of course those customers became your friends. And that is a business, it's a hidden gem that we really don't have as much today in the business world that we have. But with the State Farm brand, the people that do business with the agents, they're doing business with a person. They're not doing business with an 800 number or a call center that you may never talk to that person again. The agencies become a much more intimate entity, and they're truly that neighbor in that community.
Well, in thinking about that, and I wanted to ask you one more question really quickly, because I want you to tell us how to get in touch with you here in just a moment. We may make the half hour mark. I know we could talk enough to make the half hour mark.
Oh my goodness! I thought we had 4 hours packed in. Let's go.
we could do it. There is a record. I know where the record mark is, and I know that you and I could get there. You talked about vehicle insurance, car insurance, and I know that, as you mentioned, that's mandated. And you were mentioning, of course, home insurance too, and that means a lot for folks who have homes, and even I would imagine renters insurance too. One of the things that you didn't mention yet was life insurance. Is that something that you do, and is that a part of the Ed Meacham agency?
It is definitely the brand of Ed Meacham, and here's why. We can insure your autos, we can insure your homes, and those are important things. And we can replace those things when we need to. But we have to insure you. We have to make sure that if something happens to one of the family members, the spouse, the money bread maker of your family, and that person doesn't make it home that night, my question always to that couple is, then what? Tell me about your strategy. And if you don't have one, that's okay. Let me build it for you, because we can insure all those things, but we need to insure you as a person. The loss of a loved one, you can never ever get over the hurt that comes with it. The emotional loss is just traumatic. It happened in my own family. But soon thereafter, now follow is the financial burden of this. And what do we do to protect those families? And so our agency knows it's the most important thing we sell. Now, we may not sell a ton of it like we do with auto and homeowners, and rightly so, but it's really our job to ask that question. People aren't coming into the office thinking, "Oh, I got to have a life insurance policy today." They're worried about the Cowboys making the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Don't put your hopes on that. Sorry, Cowboy fans. I had to rub that in there. But we have to bring that to the forefront and to their attention. And we have to protect those kids. We have to protect that spouse that is now behind. We had a situation in our office not recently that we had a young couple. We have several states that we represent, Oklahoma being one of those, of course. We had a beautiful young couple in Arkansas, young couple in their 30s, 3 children, and the wife unexpectedly passes. The husband calls our office and asks us if we asked her, or does she have a life insurance policy with us? And she didn't. So you can imagine just the emotions that come over me as the agent in this family that now has to find out what they get to do, what they have to do next. What are their decisions? What choices do they have to make next? The kids were 13, 10, and 6. And the father had to travel for a living to take care of his family. And now he's got to make very difficult decisions, career decisions. Now, money is never going to bring back that loved one. It never will. However, when all that is said and done, and that emotional part and the scars of losing somebody that you love, now we have to go back to the next emotion about how do we do this now? And we help them with those answers.
All right. Well, and it's a part of life, and there are beginnings and endings, and you hate that. You want to enjoy what you have along the way, but you're there to help folks as they transition from one part to the next. So it's a big deal, and there, as much as I've enjoyed laughing with you, and I know we'll laugh a little bit more as the night goes on, but that is a part of life, and I appreciate you doing that. I also appreciate the fact that you're gonna bring not only a gravitas to it, but also, as you mentioned earlier, the relationship, because it's something that you did prior to the challenging situation. It wasn't that you waited till the last minute. I mean, you've had the opportunity to make relationships with people.
You bet. It's the most important thing. When I meet with our customers on a weekly basis, I probably have 6 to maybe 10 people that I meet with and review their policies. It truly is the best part of my job. Truly is. I get to visit with folks, and it doesn't always have to be about the insurance piece that we do, that we handle, that they allow us and trust us to do. But just the things of what's going on with your families. How about the kids that just went off to college, or the grandbabies that are now here, and you and I are experiencing that joy. Mm-hmm. And so there's just there's such a connection that you have with folks, and that's the best part of my job.
Well, and by the way, I know we've talked about grandkids. I don't know that I mentioned this last week. I've had to wait. I've been under mandate to wait from a social media side, but we have grandbaby number 3 on the way.
That's fantastic.
So I just want to say that grandbaby number 3 is on the way. Next little McWilliams child. I know it's not going to be McWilliams. Little Heil.
Awesome.
Jenna Page is going to have her first child. So we're excited about that. Well, Ed, where do people find you? How can they get in touch with you, whether it be phone, online? How do they reach out to you?
Well, go to our website. It's one that us old timers would get a kick out of, because in the old days they used to call me Mr. Ed, just like you saw on TV with Wilbur. So I thought, well, creatively, my website should be www, which no one uses anymore, MrEdInsurance.com. It looks like MRED Insurance, but it's MrEdInsurance.com. That's a good way to find us. We can actually start a quote for you, or you can call our office number, and any number of the 3 professionals along with me that are agents in the office will be glad to just give quotes or advice. I also want you to know that you can call us anytime, 903-892-3923. We're across the river in Sherman, Texas. Anytime that you are just looking for some advice, we have folks that call all the time that are not our insureds. They just want us to give them some sound advice and help them make good decisions.
Well, it's nice to have people that can do that. Because like I mentioned, this is not my strong point. I hope I do have strong points, but whatever they are, this is not that. So I appreciate having friends like you that I can call and ask those questions. Well, Ed, as much as I know that you were teasing me earlier, I've been wanting to have Ed on the program for a while. Just so you know, this wasn't a one-way conversation. I've been
You're exactly,
yeah,
yes, sir.
to talk sports and talk about his connections, not only with Southeastern, but obviously, of course, Chiefs. That's been in the news a lot lately because they're back-to-back Super Bowl champions. It's been a long time since there have been back-to-back Super Bowl champions, and so that's really a cool thing there. Um, I would ask you, what would you say, just to wrap up your time tonight? What would you say that would sum up what you do then? And again, you've told us how to get there. By the way, we're going to put the name, excuse me, the URL, Mr. Ed Insurance. We're going to get that in the comment section. We'll also have the phone number as well, so you can reach out. How would you wrap up the evening?
Well, guys, again, insurance is not an easy decision, and it's a financial decision, but let it be the right decision. And if we're not your agent, let us advise you correctly. Advice is always free, and so are the quotes. We got a great team at our office. They're full of love and passion for customers, and we'll help you.
All right. Ed Meacham, who is but he's just right here in our area, and I appreciate you coming on with us tonight. Ed,
To be here.
as I wrap up the time tonight, I want to give you an invitation. Please come back. There is an open invitation to be a part of BCP Live whenever
Thank you.
you'd like to. So just know that is there. It's been probably too long since we've had an opportunity to broadcast a game together. So I hope you
Yeah.
can hear me. I think my internet signal is wavering, and I need to make sure I get my last part in here. But definitely, we need to broadcast a game again together because it's a lot of fun, and I do
It
enjoy
is.
broadcasting.
Thank you, dear friend. I sure thank you so much for having me. And
Oh,
it's always great to visit with you and talk sports. I am yet to get in your league on the sports side of this, but I'm working towards it. You're the best, Joey.
no, I defer because I've listened to you and what you bring to the table. I learned a lot getting to be in the booth when sometimes you were on a hot day or a cold day and you were outside on the sideline, and I thought, man, I'm glad Ed's out there and I'm not. No, I didn't, but it does lead me to this. I am wearing the GAC, and I'll be doing this weekend because Southeastern, well, not just because Southeastern, but Southeastern's heading to the GAC tournament. The men's team, the number one seed in the men's basketball bracket this year, share the conference championship. They will be playing on Tuesday, the quarterfinal game on Tuesday, taking on the defending tournament champion in Southern Arkansas. And that will be, I believe it's a 5 o'clock tip time on Thursday. You can watch it on the YouTube channel, GAC Athletics, on the YouTube channel there. I'll be there alongside Luke McConnell for that broadcast and, all of the broadcasts. 14 games in 4 days. That is a whole lot of fun, but it'll keep you going. I will guarantee you. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm getting ready to talk some basketball and go from there. And as always, I want to wrap things up with you tonight by this. I want to say thanks for watching. If you're watching the live broadcast tonight, you're still watching. Wow. Thank you very much. And if you're watching the replay and you've stayed with us this long, you are absolutely a trooper. So I appreciate that. And I want to remind you of these three things. Number one, and these are good ways to live your life and to I hope things will go well for you. I believe they will if you do these things. Number one, be wise. You need wisdom. You just flat out need wisdom. And it's more than just information. You need wisdom, how to use the information you have. And the Bible says, God said, if you don't have it, he'd give it to you. He said, all you have to do is ask. If you ask, he said he would give it to you generously and he wouldn't find fault. He's not going to make fun of you for asking for wisdom. And I appreciate that because I need it every single day. And so I'm very grateful. Number two is that you should walk in love. It is not always the easiest thing to do. It is always the best thing to do, however. And sometimes it's not always easy to look at that person who cut you off in traffic. By the way, that was almost me today. I at a red light, man, I saw the light turn green for the left turn signal, and I took off for about that far. And I almost cut somebody off in traffic, and I saw the look that she gave me, and she wasn't necessarily pleased. But like I said, it's not always easy, but it's still always the best thing to do. And you never know what someone else is going through. And the best thing you can do is love them, even if you're not necessarily happy with them, or maybe they gave you a bad look. Anyway, and number 3, and this is very important, do not walk in fear. You can have a respect for a situation without being afraid of it. And I'm telling you, the national media will give you opportunities to be scared every single day. And I encourage you not to do it. Don't take them up on that. Do not walk in fear. So be wise, walk in love, don't walk in fear. And Ed, I think I summed it up right there.
I like Solomon. I'll take all his pages in the Bible, scripture. And fear is a liar. And
That's
walk
right.
with love. Amen, brother. You know I love you. And you know I also am a man of faith. And I appreciate sharing that brotherhood with you.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Ed Meacham from State Farm, and he is your good neighbor as well. So we will be back next Tuesday night. Watch some GAC basketball on the YouTube channel. Cheer on the Savage Storm, Go Storm, of which I am an alum as well. And we'll just go from there. In the meantime, thanks for watching tonight. God bless you all. Have a very good evening. And I will
Great to be here. Thank you,
Ed.
guys.
We'll see you next week.
Okay.